Hey, thanks for joining me, everyone. Today, on this January 10th, where's my other window? Come on. Yeah, just making sure we're live. We have mice that work. You know what it's like. Come on, refresh. So we're live right now on YouTube, and we are perhaps live on Rumble. Yeah, we're live on Rumble too. It's a Wednesday. It's a Big Idea Wednesday, so thanks for joining me. Oh, can't. Why? There we go. There we go. Always prepared. That's why you come here, to see someone that's always prepared. Yeah. Anyway. Starting off great. Anyway, welcome to the show, everyone. Today, we're going to dive into a big idea because it's Big Idea Wednesday. Yeah. So let's get to it. I'm talking about epistemic luck. And no, that's not a new superhero. What is epistemic luck? Well, in a nutshell, it's the idea that sometimes we get lucky with our beliefs. We stumble upon the truth by accident. It's like finding a $20 bill on the sidewalk or accidentally liking a Justin Bieber song. But when it comes to understanding the world, we can't rely on luck. We need logic and reason to guide us through this labyrinth of life. Now, you may be thinking, Tom, what's the big deal? Isn't a little luck good for us? Sure, it can be. But when it comes to understanding the world, relying on luck is like building a house on a foundation of quicksand. And for you youngsters, quicksand was a plot device in 70s TV shows. It might not look solid at first, but when the storm comes, you're going to wish you had built on something a little bit more stable. That's where logic and reason come in. They're like the steel beams and concrete of our metaphorical house that can't be melted with thermite paint. They provide a solid foundation that can withstand the test of time and the scrutiny of critical thinking. Let's face it, in today's world, we need all the critical thinking we can get. But here's the kicker. Epistemic luck isn't just about understanding the world. It's about how we form our beliefs. Are they based on evidence, sound reasoning, or are they just lucky guesses? If it's the latter, then we might as well be playing a game of philosophical roulette. Yeah. And let me tell you, the odds are not in your favor. So let's not leave our understanding of the world up to chance. Let's embrace logic and reason and build a foundation of understanding that can withstand the storms of life. Because at the end of the day, in every other tired cliche, it's about being right. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being informed and making the best decisions we can. And that, my friends, is the truth. The whole truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me, epistemic luck. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show. Best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Yeah, left my coffee on the counter. Yeah, one of those days. So we're talking about epistemic luck. And see if I can get this. Okay, cool. Yeah. Anyway, epistemic luck. It's a philosophical concept that deals with the role of luck in our beliefs and our knowledge. It's like when you accidentally stumble upon the right answer to a question, and when you form a true belief based on a totally lucky guess. I think we all probably do that sometimes. So definitionally, we got two different main types of epistemic luck. Let me tell you about it. It's veridic luck. This is when you form a belief by pure chance. Even though your reasoning or evidence for the belief is faulty, imagine you're a detective. You're investigating a crime, okay? And you randomly accuse someone without any evidence. but it turns out that person is actually guilty, right? Not because of your investigative skills, but because it was pure luck. Well, that's veridic luck. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about epistemic luck. This is when you form a true belief, but the belief is not based on anything reliable. Okay. For example, you might believe that it's going to rain tomorrow because your horoscope said so. Now, if it does rain tomorrow, your belief would be true. But then it would be due to luck rather than any solid evidence or reasoning. So epistemic luck is a hot topic right now in philosophy, as it raises questions about the nature of knowledge and how we can be sure that our beliefs are justified. Some argue that knowledge is incompatible with luck, while others believe that luck can play a role in our beliefs and knowledge. So in conclusion, epistemic luck epistemic luck it's an interesting, intriguing concept, and it challenges us to think critically about the role of luck in our beliefs and knowledge. It's like you find a four-leaf clover, right? It might bring you good luck, but it doesn't necessarily mean you've earned it. So that is the concept that I wanted to talk about today on this Big Idea Wednesday. And this whole idea of epistemic luck is that we all have beliefs that might be true. But is it important, the reason that we believe them? I think that that's probably more important than whether or not our beliefs are true or not. Now, of course, I'm talking about things in this world that can actually be verified, right? I'm not talking about the afterlife. I'm not talking about religion or anything like that. I'm talking about the beliefs that we have that are verifiable here. This has nothing to do with faith at all. Okay, this has to do with evidence and why we believe what we believe. And a lot of times people will believe things just based on chance. It's an interesting idea. It's something to think about. And I didn't know the term for this before trying to come up with the topic for today. So I did a lot of searching. I was thinking maybe it was called accidental truth or something like that. But I did stumble upon this as epistemic luck. And I think that that is an important thing, that when you're trying to understand the world, you have words or phrases that represent ideas that you can reference so that we're all on the same page. And that's one of the reasons that I like doing these Wednesday videos, is because I can bring up a topic and it might be a concept that you're aware of, but you don't have a name for it. And having that common vocabulary will allow you to share ideas with other people. So that's why I brought it up today. We've got a number of stories to get today. So let's get into it. This first one, I have some firsthand experience with this. So I'd like to hear your take. Now, if only I can get the mouse to scroll. Yes. So a judge rescinds permission for Trump to give his own closing argument at his civil fraud trial. Yeah. In the New York civil business fraud trial against Donald Trump, the judge initially allowed Trump to make his own closing argument, but later revoked permission due to a disagreement about restrictions. Trump's attorneys objected to limitations on what he could discuss, leading to the judge withdrawing the opportunity. The trial, led by New York Attorney General Letitia James, alleges Trump inflated his net worth to obtain loans and insurance. Trump denies any wrongdoing, labeling it as a political attack. Judge has imposed a gag order on comments about court staff after Trump's social media posts. Trump's desire to speak in the court was risky, especially given prior clashes, potential fines for violating the gag order. Now, despite earlier testifying, Trump opted not to offer second testimony, stating he had nothing more to add. So this is very interesting that a judge would not allow a defendant to speak in his closing remarks. Now, there may be some technicalities about this. So I don't know everything about this. I don't know a whole lot about it, actually. But why would you do this? This just looks political. This just looks terrible. And I know firsthand, at least in the state of New Mexico, you must be allowed to speak in your closing remarks. Yeah. I think I actually made law. I had a case against me. And this was decades ago. But I went before court, and I wanted to speak in the closing, for the closing argument. I wanted to address the court. And the judge just said, "No, I've heard enough." Knocked her gavel and said guilty. That was here in America. And you may think, Tom, you're exaggerating. This is BS. Well, I took it to court. And it went to the state Supreme Court of New Mexico. And the state Supreme Court of New Mexico found in my favor and found that the state violated my constitutional rights. And they reversed the decision and threw it back down to a court for a retrial. And they were so embarrassed about this, in my opinion, that they did not do the retrial, and they just dismissed it outright. That happened to me personally. I had a judge say, "Nah, I don't need to hear you. Gavel, gavel, guilty." And I did get an apology from the state of New Mexico for violating my constitutional rights. Yeah. So I know firsthand, you got to let people speak at their trial. You have to. I'm not sure exactly about the details I know he did speak in the trial, but denying him the chance to speak for his closing argument, I don't think it's constitutional. Not only do I not think that it's constitutional, I believe that it is just the wrong thing to do. It's a really bad look. With the entire nation watching this, it's a really bad look. And in my opinion, and here's a concept that's going to be tough. Just because I defend Trump doesn't mean that I like Trump, doesn't mean that I approve of Trump, doesn't mean that I co-sign what Trump does. It may not. I like to stand up for truth and justice, against lies, against corruption. That's my thing. And it doesn't matter who is the victim of this. In this case, the victim of this, in my opinion, is Trump. But just because I say that what they're doing to Trump is wrong doesn't... If you draw a conclusion about what I think about Trump, just based on me defending this, that that's not based in reality. It's not based on any facts because I haven't expressed my opinion about him. But lastly, this trial is just silly, in my opinion. The accusation is that Trump inflated his numbers, what his properties were worth. But guess what? If you're, let's say you're taking out a loan on your home, right? And you say, oh, my home's worth $5 million. Does the bank just take your word for it? No, they do their own assessment. They don't take anybody's word for it. It doesn't matter what somebody says something is worth. They have their own evaluation. It played no role. In fact, in this case, they said it played Trump's valuation played zero role in this. This is clearly political to me, which is a shame. And just because someone doesn't like Trump, cheering on this kind of a political attack through the judicial system is disgraceful, in my opinion. Anyway, let's get to the exciting thing that's happening tonight. Oh, it's going to be so exciting in Iowa. All right, so I got this article from Reuters here. And the Iowa contest is heating up between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, aiming for second place behind Trump. Recent polls show Haley gaining ground in New Hampshire while DeSantis trails there. The CNN debate is crucial for them to stand out as Trump skips it for a rival event nearby. His campaign strategy in Iowa differs from 2016, focusing on big rallies and smaller gatherings hosted by allies for supporter information. DeSantis actively courts Iowa's counties targeting evangelical voters. Both face the challenge of rallying supporters in icy conditions. Haley stresses pragmatism and a hawkish foreign policy, differentiating herself from Trump and DeSantis. Shockingly, in this Reuters article that I'm pulling this from, it doesn't even mention Vivek Ramaswamy, who will be doing a live appearance on Tim Pool's show. So, yeah, that's happening tonight. Is anybody excited to see a debate between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis? Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I can't think of anything less interesting. I can't. Well, maybe I can. I don't know. Golden Bachelor or something about the Kardashians or something. I probably would care less. But yeah, just on mainstream news, I can't think of anything less interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, I'll have to watch the highlights. I might even watch it. I don't know. I think Vivek on Timcast will be more interesting. I think probably the Trump rally will be more interesting. But we'll see. Notice how Chris Christie isn't even talked about at all anymore. It's because he's not a real candidate. And to this date, he is, wow, you know, Iowa's next week, and he still hasn't produced any campaign merchandise. Not a single yard sign or bumper sticker. Why is it that nobody in the media can even present that? Hey, Chris Christie, you're running for president, right? How come you don't even have a yard sign or bumper sticker, t-shirt, ball cap, coffee mug? Nothing? I don't know. It's as if the entire corporate media is in cahoots. That would be my conclusion. That's just based on a hunch. It's not based on evidence, but you can make that decision for yourself. Anyway, next up, we got some more shoddy journalism. All right. So I'm summarizing this article, and then I'm going to talk about the article. Court documents related to the late Jeffrey Epstein have been recently released, linking numerous notable figures, including former President Donald Trump. These papers were initially sealed due to privacy concerns, but a judge ordered their release in December last year. Although Trump's name appears in these documents, there's no accusations of wrongdoing against his connection to Epstein's crimes. Some documents mention Trump briefly or in relation to events that were already public knowledge. Testimonies within these documents don't directly implicate Trump in any illegal activities linked to Epstein. Trump distanced himself from Epstein, stating a falling out and no contact for around 15 years before Epstein's death in 2019. So let's take a look at this article and let's see how good this journalism is. Okay, here we go. So here's the article. It says, let's take a look at this headline here. It's in Newsweek. Should you ever listen to Newsweek? Let's see. So let's see if I can make it a little smaller. Nope. Okay, here we go. Is Donald Trump Doe 174 in Jeffrey Epstein's documents? What we know. So this is today. That's wow. Is Donald Trump Doe, the unnamed person in Jeffrey Epstein's documents? Well, and then we've got an entire article that goes on that provides nothing at all to link Donald Trump to be Doe number 174. All right. We got a big picture of Donald Trump. Ooh, scary. Scary. It says, there have been no accusations of wrongdoing by Trump. Oh, okay. It says, is Donald Trump Doe 174? Well, Preska's order included a table of 187 individuals with dockets entries with their names appearing. Interesting that I'm talking about this, and suddenly, YouTube is having an issue. Wow. What are the odds of that? Now, I'm not having any issue on Rumble, but interesting that on YouTube, as soon as I started talking about this particular topic, we've got to have some streaming errors. Very, very interesting. Let's just see about that. That's wow. What are the odds? Okay. Well, it says Doe 174 was described as a person whose association with Epstein and Maxwell has been widely reported in the media already. Okay. That's it. That's it. So it was someone that's been reported before. So it could be Trump. Ooh, it could be Trump. Scary. Is there any other evidence? No. There's no other evidence. Not even in this own article. It goes on to just say that, like, nobody said Trump had anything to do with any of the activities associated with Jeffrey Epstein. But, you know, if you're just to look at the headline here, if you're just looking at the headline, is he Doe 174? What we know. That kind of makes some implications. Thank you, Tom Norton, for this incredibly well done article. What a rag. What an absolute rag. This has, there's nothing in this article that would even imply that Donald Trump had anything to do with this. In fact, quite the opposite. You read the entire article, there's no evidence linking Trump to being a client or anything like that of Jeffrey Epstein's. But they're able to put that out in the media. And then YouTube, for example, can decide to make this topic not work at all. So, kind of pathetic. Kind of pathetic. Well, let's see if we can get YouTube working again by changing the topic. Let's talk about Ecuador. It has nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, so we can get the stream back. Let's get the stream back and talk about what's going on in Ecuador. Yeah, we've got some issues in Ecuador. Let's see. I'm going to just do a quick refresh here on the YouTube and see if we're back. See if we're back. No. Interesting. Wow. Okay. I'm just going to leave a note here on the still live on Rumble. Just let people in the comments know. Anyway. Very interesting that just died out right when we were talking about that topic. Weird. Anyway, let's talk about Ecuador. The President Daniel Noboa. Just got to keep looking over it. Stream health. There. Okay. Daniel Noboa declared a state of emergency due to escalating violence by drug gangs, holding over 130 prison staff hostage. They labeled 22 gangs as terrorists, made them military targets. The gangs' actions, including TV station takeover and explosions, prompted this response. Noboa plans to build high-security prisons for gang leaders and announced efforts to recover hostages. With the armed forces leading rescue operations, the violence led to arrests and closures across the country, impacting daily life significantly. Noboa also intends to deport foreign prisoners, especially Colombians, to alleviate prison overcrowding. The situation remains tense, impacting cities like Guayaquil and Quito profoundly. Yeah. Hey, let me know, Rumble, if I sound fuzzy on the microphone. Apparently I'm sounding fuzzy on the microphone on YouTube. I'd just like to hear it, but I guess I can check that afterwards. Right, we can check that afterwards. All right. So that's, anyway. All right, but that's what's happening in Ecuador. Scary times down there. We need some good news. Let's get to the good news of the day, shall we? So the DEA has clarified that mushroom spores themselves aren't federally prohibited as long as they don't contain controlled substances like psilocybin or psilocin. However, some states do prohibit the spores. The legality of certain cannabinoids like delta-8 THC synthesized from legal CBD remains a gray area. The DEA aims to ban certain psychedelics and maintain tight control over THC and other drugs for research purposes. They're also considering a recommendation to move marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, but assert their final authority on scheduling decisions regardless of recommendations. Well, why should we make any decisions based on recommendations, right? We don't care about that. Yeah. Anyway, well, yeah, I'm not. Anyway, I don't know what's happening with the broadcast today. Obviously, I will I will do some more tests and figure it out. Anyway, I was hoping this was good news about mushrooms, because there's a lot of research with mushrooms that's very helpful, especially with people with PTSD. And if you could get the spores legally delivered to you, that might give you the freedom to decide what you wanted to do for yourself. But apparently this stream's not doing too well today. The quality is just not working. So back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. Stick around for the after show. I'll go through your comments. And sorry it didn't work today. Not sure why. But I'll definitely be back on Friday for another show, and hopefully it'll be a smooth stream. Keep working. Things don't always work the way you want the first time, the second time, maybe the 100 and what is today? The 167th live stream. So just keep working at it. Anyway, I'll see you in the after show. And if not, I'll be back on Friday with the best stream of the week. Peace. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. I am not sure what the issue was today with the stream, so now I have something to work on. But I get it. It's hard to watch a stream that's glitchy, that doesn't have good audio, so I totally understand. I'll have to see how bad it was when I check this afterwards. But yeah, let's see the chat. Let's see. Natasha's asking, this all sounds well and good for this life, Tom, but what about the afterlife? Well, that's up to you. The afterlife is up to you. This is just about how you view reality. It doesn't have to do with how you choose your faith. Right? That's the whole idea between epistemic luck. Why you believe what you believe on things that can actually be tested, right? Is it epistemic luck that I didn't fall for the scandemic and didn't get the jab? Could be. It just depends on why you chose it. If you just had a feeling like, I don't trust them, then yeah. But that's not for me to determine. That's for you to determine. Like, why did you to make the decision that you made? That's kind of the idea. I thought the epistemic would be related to epistles, which I thought meant letters, as in the biblical books written by Paul, which were letters to various churches. I don't know what that word means, so I'd have to look it up. Yeah. Yeah, so the buffering was really bad on YouTube, and apparently we got a little bit of buffering on Rumble. And the sound apparently went pretty bad on YouTube, and then it fixed, and then, yeah, so I'm not sure. Audio's super fuzzy over here, too. So apparently the audio wasn't great on Rumble as well. Yeah, I'll just have to try to figure it out. Could you do the whole mushroom bit over? Okay, so... Sure, let me just tell you what happened with the mushrooms. Essentially, with the psychedelic mushrooms, the DEA clarified that the spores themselves are not federally prohibited. So you could, like, say, mail somebody mushroom spores, and that's not a controlled substance. So the spores are what you use, that the mushrooms grow from. So as long as there is no controlled substance there, if it's just the spores, that's totally legal. Be sure to check your state. Just double check right before you have somebody mail you some psilocybin spores. But growing mushrooms is pretty easy to do, especially if you have a humid atmosphere. A lot of times they grow on like fallen trees and whatnot. So you can make yourself a little terrarium or something to grow mushrooms. It's pretty cool. And that the spores themselves are not illegal. Now, would you be looking for trouble if you had, if you ordered some psilocybin spores off the internet and they were mailed to your home address? Well, chances are, if you're not allowed to grow those mushrooms in your state, perhaps you could get into some trouble. So I'm not giving you any advice there. I'm just talking about the fact that the spores themselves are fine. And there's been a lot of because this has always been a gray area in the law, and so they were just clarifying what was legal and illegal. And they've been looking at making some changes to how they classify certain drugs, such as Delta 8, which is made from legal CBD, but it acts like a THC, but it's synthetic, right? So they're still deciding on how they're going to classify those drugs. And they also talked about moving marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, so it's a lesser illegal, or the sentences aren't as high. So that's just a little update on what's going on with some of those things. I like to grow. Look at the moon says, I like to grow things. Should try growing mushrooms, but it does get hot and dry here. Well, when you're growing mushrooms, right? Mushrooms don't really grow in the desert. You're never seeing tumbleweed get stuck on a patch of mushrooms, right? They grow in wet areas. I have mushrooms growing in my yard often. My folks have these massive, incredible mushrooms that grow around the trees in their house, by their house. Pretty incredible. So kind of foresty, damp foresty areas are kind of best for growing mushrooms, but you can replicate that, right? You can just make a little terrarium or have some kind of enclosure that you can make it more humid and try to grow some mushrooms. So there's different things that you can do. Make yourself a little greenhouse to try to grow some mushrooms. And you don't necessarily even have, just growing mushrooms is kind of cool. You can try to grow some mushrooms to eat, right? Not necessarily psilocybin mushrooms, right? You just grow some mushrooms to eat. Mushrooms are getting more and more expensive. Perhaps it turns into a great hobby that you can start selling mushrooms at your, farmer's market or something. Who knows? Just an idea. Do you do CBD and such, Tom? I'm trying to remember. CBD is the legal kind of pain relieving part of the marijuana plant, I believe. No, I've tried the CBD. There was a place. Sometimes the breweries here, they may have like you could get a pint of like sour or something that has CBD in it. I don't think you, as far as I understand, you get zero high off of CBD. It's more of a some kind of pain relieving compound, right? I don't have that kind of pain that I'm trying to mask, and so that's not that interesting to me. But I would definitely try it if I were in that kind of pain. I don't know. Often, I'm very pain tolerant. I gotta be in a lot of pain for it to actually matter to me. I don't know why that is, but yeah, like I think I told you I was working on some heavy machinery, and I got a kickback, and look at that, look at the nice bruise I got here on my bicep. I don't know if you can see that there, but I think if there were pain that were really bothering me, I would try a CBD. I've heard good things from some people about the CBD drinks, CBD gummies, and also I did try one time a CBD lotion. I forget what it was for. I was having a pain in my leg or something, and I did get a CBD lotion, and I rubbed it on, and it seemed to work pretty well. So I would recommend at least trying it if that's something that you're interested in. It's not that expensive, and you can try it, and maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just a placebo, but the placebo of having a nice lotion makes your leg feel better. If you're in pain, well, then do it, right? But definitely, as I get older, if I had some kind of arthritis that were really hurting me or something, that would be something that I would consider more. But as of right now, I don't have a whole lot of use for it. But thanks for the question. Anyway, I will try again. I'm going to do some test streams with Rumble Studio. I tried doing some test streams earlier, and I was not successful with getting it to work. So I'm going to keep working on that. But we'll keep plugging away. And I appreciate your patience while I try to figure this whole thing out. So thanks a lot. I may do a random live stream this evening, maybe not. I wouldn't count on it, but if you get an alert, there you go. Anyway, I will be back on Friday for Fact Check Friday, and I will do all I can to make it a clear stream without any buffering. So let's see how that goes. Anyway, hope you all have a beautiful day. Until next time. Peace.